You are terrified of being forgotten. Good news, you will be. Everyone will. That is not depressing. That is the most freeing truth you will hear today. Here is why. I want to sit with the fear before I dismantle it, because it deserves that. The fear of being forgotten is not vanity. It is not ego in the small, embarrassing sense. It is something much older and much more human than that. It is the desire for your life to have mattered. For the fact that you were here, that you struggled and chose and loved and tried to leave some mark on the world that outlasts you. For Black women, that fear carries specific weight that I will not minimize. We come from people who were deliberately erased, whose names were taken, whose contributions were absorbed into history without credit, whose genius built institutions that celebrated everyone except them. The fear of being forgotten is not abstract for us, and it is ancestral. It lives in the body. And yet, the way most of us are responding to that fear is not producing the lives we want. It is producing performances, exhausting, continuous, approval-seeking performances aimed at an audience that is mostly not watching and will not remember anyway. This video is about what becomes available when you finally stop performing for permanence. Most of us were taught, without anyone saying it directly, that our value was determined by what other people thought of us. Your reputation was the currency, what the neighbors said, what the church thought, what your colleagues concluded, what the algorithm decided about you on any given Tuesday. You learned early that being seen positively by others was not just pleasant. It was a form of protection. It was how you secured your place. And not being seen, being overlooked, dismissed, forgotten, was a threat to more than your ego. It was a threat to your belonging. So you started making decisions based on how they would look. Not just how they would feel or what they would produce, but how they would appear to the specific audience in your head. Some of those people are real. Many of them are composite characters built from every critical voice you have ever absorbed. But all of them are watching you in your imagination. And your choices have been shaped by that watching for longer than you realize. You stayed in the career because it had a recognizable title. You posted the milestone before you had processed it, because the processing is private and nobody witnesses private. You held back the opinion that was yours because it might make you memorable in the wrong way. You performed okay when you were not okay, because falling apart without an audience felt like it did not count. You have been living for witnesses, and the exhaustion you feel is the specific exhaustion of a person who has been performing continuously without intermission. I have a friend. I will call her Zara. Zara built her entire professional identity around being visible. She was good at it. She knew how to be in the right rooms, say the right things, be associated with the right projects. Her name carried weight in her industry. And she worked continuously to keep it that way. What she did not tell anyone was that she had not done a single piece of work in 4 years that she was genuinely proud of. Everything had been calculated for reception. Nothing had been made from the inside out. She had become so skilled at producing what the room would celebrate that she had completely lost access to what she actually wanted to make. She came to understand this during a period when she was ill and off work for 2 months. Forced out of the visibility. No posts, no appearances, no performances. The first 3 weeks were the most anxious of her life. She felt herself being forgotten in real time, felt the industry moving without her, felt her name getting quieter in conversations she was not in to sustain it. Then something shifted. She told me around week 4, I stopped checking, not because I decided to, because I was too tired. And in the stopping, I realized I had been running a race where the finish line moved every time I got close to it. There was no amount of visibility that was ever going to be enough, because the fear underneath it was not really about being forgotten. It was about whether my life had meaning. And I had been trying to answer that question with an audience instead of with my actual choices. She came back to work differently. She took a project that had no prestige attached to it because it was the most interesting problem she had encountered in years. She stopped attending events designed for visibility and started attending ones that taught her something. She made one piece of work that she had no plan to share publicly, just to remember what it felt like to make something with no audience in the room. That private piece became the foundation for the work she is most known for now. The irony was not lost on her. She told me, the moment I stopped performing for permanence, I started actually building something worth remembering. But by then, I had stopped caring about the remembering part. This is the part I want you to sit with specifically. The fear of being forgotten is not just a background anxiety. It is an active decision maker inside your life right now. And it is making some choices that are not serving you. It is keeping you in public facing work that looks impressive, but drains you, instead of the quieter, more meaningful work that would actually fulfill you, because the quieter work does not have a visible audience. And without an audience, it does not feel real. It is making you perform strength you do not currently have, because vulnerability feels like being forgotten in the wrong way, like being remembered as the one who could not handle it. So you handle it publicly and fall apart in private, where nobody can record the moment. It is making you chase significance before stability, visibility before clarity, the version of your life that photographs well, before the version that actually fits who you are. It is making you say yes to things that have an audience and no to things that only have a future. And underneath all of it is the same belief. If nobody is watching, it does not count. If nobody remembers it, it was not real. If the room forgot you the moment you left, you were not there. That belief is costing you the actual life while you build the performance of one. Here is the reframe, and I need you to receive it precisely, not generally. You will be forgotten. In 3 generations, almost everything about your specific daily life will be unknown to the people who carry your bloodline. They will not know what you worried about on a Wednesday, what song you played on repeat for a month, what decision you agonized over, what you looked like when you were tired and not performing for anyone. And none of that makes any of it less real. The Wednesday worry was real. The song was real. The decision mattered. Your life, lived fully and honestly and in genuine alignment with who you actually are, was real regardless of whether anyone witnessed it, recorded it, or remembered it. What actually remains is not your reputation. Reputation is a story other people tell, and they will eventually stop telling it. What remains is the quality of the life you actually lived. The relationships that were genuine rather than strategic. The work that came from something true in you rather than from what you calculated would be received well. The choices made in alignment with your own values rather than in performance of them. That is legacy in its most honest form. Not what people say about you after you are gone. What you built and loved and chose while you were here. And the liberation inside that truth is this: if the audience was never the point, you can stop performing for it. You can make decisions based entirely on what is actually right for your life without running them through the filter of how they will look to people who will forget you anyway. You are free to live for yourself, fully, without apology. Not because your life does not matter, because it matters too much to spend it performing for an audience that was never going to remember the performance. You will be forgotten. So will everyone you admire. So will everyone who ever made you feel small. The forgetting is not the tragedy. The tragedy is spending the time you have performing for it, shrinking for it, making safe choices in service of it, living a curated version of your life instead of the actual one, because you were afraid of what the audience would conclude. The audience is not the point. It never was. Your life lived honestly, fully, and in genuine alignment with who you are is the point. Stop performing for permanence. Start living for now, for the choices that feel right when nobody is watching, for the work that comes from somewhere true, for the relationships that are real rather than strategic. That is not a small life. That is the only life that was ever going to mean anything. Live it. SIS, this place is your home. Welcome to Shine My Crown. Every day we have this conversation, the kind that gives you your life back, one honest truth at a time. Share this to a sister. Subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.